Yay Media Group.
Hey y'all, welcome to the tea. How y'all doing on this another beautiful day in the neighborhood? And you know what? We are still neighbors. Oh my God, honey, ain't nobody moved yet. Well, today I have a special guest, y'all. This man needs no introduction, but I'm gonna introduce him because, honey, he needs an introduction from me. So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, y'all, for none other than the talented, the national radio, television syndicated George Wilborn.
Hello, what up? What up? Hey, what up? George with the coffee and Gary with the tea. What's going on?
George, let me tell you something. I know damn well I don't know how to get no damn introduction, honey. I'm like, hell, shit. We do it for the time of your damn head. I'm like, child, George Wilborn, damn it. We love George. George, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Gary, man. I appreciate it, man. And I always just want to get right off the top, man. You are killing it, man. So happy for you. You've been doing this a long time, making Ricky sound better than he should, and now doing all your own stuff, man. I just really happy for you, man. Between the Dish Nation and all the stuff you're doing, you're killing
George,
it.
thank you, honey. Yeah, and George, I'm gonna go ahead and send you the damn check. Hell, it's coming. Check is in the mail for that great intro.
Hey, you can cash that
I
now.
can tell how much it is, but it's in the mail. Okay, oh shit, I'm a cash app you then. Yeah, we can get you a cash app. Cash app or Zelle, whichever one you prefer. I'm gonna see it. So George, so tell me, so what's been going on with you? I mean, you know, George, you're a radio personality, you're an actor, you honey you're every man in the words of Shaka Khan said she was every woman. You can be every man. So what's been going on with George, honey? How you been doing? Tell us all about it.
I've been doing good, man. You know, I've been in Atlanta for the last 5 years or so. You know, obviously I've been doing radio still. I'm not currently doing it, but when I first came here, I was on with Rick Party and Sasha the Diva, and then I went over to Kiss 104.1 for a while. I was on with Frank Ski for a minute. Then even tapped in with the Tigger morning show, pursuing some potential opportunities there that did not or have not panned out as of yet. But I'm still doing. Be quiet, Moses. That's Moses, my dog. But obviously still on the
You
road
need to
doing
part the Red
comedy.
Sea.
I'm still
Yeah.
doing comedy. I'll be at the City Winery on June 18th here in Atlanta, and then July 18th in St. Louis with my very, very good friend and the hilarious Vanessa Fraction. So still hitting comedy clubs, improvs, and and um and zanies and all over the country, man. So I'm still doing comedy and still writing, still acting, and doing my thing.
Now, George, I didn't realize you worked with Sasha the Diva. I um I remember Sasha
Yes.
the Diva.
Yeah, when I first came
Yeah. So
to Atlanta about 5 years ago, we did a syndicated radio show together with her and Rick Party. They were already on the air, and then
Rick Party.
and Rick Party. Yeah, I know Rick from years ago from Chicago. I was born and raised in Chicago, and Rick was big in radio while I was doing radio in Chicago as.
Yeah, I used to work with Rick Party when he was in Florida.
Okay, yeah, he was in Florida. In fact, they was trying to get me to join Rick down in Miami some years ago. So
Yeah.
I moved here with him and Sasha. Him and Sasha had a show, and I came
Yeah.
on with the comedic element. And then, like 2 months after we moved here, Gary, after I moved here, the pandemic hit.
Oh.
And so, and then about a year after that, they dismantled the show. So, but since then I've been, doing what I can, and we're getting in where I fit in, so to speak, with
Yeah.
radio stuff. But comedy has always been my staple, and acting
Yeah.
and performing. So, I'm still doing my thing here in Atlanta and all over the country.
Yeah, well, that's good. So, I mean, so the thing is, so I would say, and I probably you would say that comedy is your first love, and
Yeah.
then all the rest of it fall in place.
Absolutely. It's no doubt about that. I've been doing comedy for 30 plus years now, almost
Yeah.
40. And so all of the opportunities that I've gotten for the most part, it stemmed from stand up. Stand up
Yeah.
comedy allowed me, even when I moved to California and got my agents and started honing my craft as an actor, that all stemmed from stand up comedy. And
Yeah.
and obviously the material, it never runs out with the world that we live in. So,
Oh no, not at all, honey. You know, especially honey with the president that we have. I mean, a lot of people like to mimic him, and just it's just a crazy thing, honey.
it
So
is. It is. I think people are laughing to keep from crying a lot of times. So comedy has had a big resurgence in our industry because of how, unfortunately, how frightened people are, how
mhm.
absolutely upset they are with the next, the projection of the next 4 years or so. Has really got people needing a laugh more so than just wanting to laugh.
Exactly. So George, tell me this. I mean, so you like you said, you've been a comic now for a long time. I mean, is there any particular comic that you've never worked with that you would like to work with?
Actually, it is. I haven't. There are quite a few. Right back. I haven't worked with Cat Williams. I would like to work with Cat. I met him once years ago. When I was in New Orleans doing a comedy festival, and I was backstage checking out the arena, and I looked behind me, and Cat was over there, right behind me, off stage, looking at the same kind of place. So we met briefly. That was many years ago. I would like to work with him. I would like to, believe it or not, I would like to work with Chris Rock. I would like to do some television and film stuff with it's quite a
Mhm.
few actors. I can't wait to play with my sister Monique again. Uh,
Yeah.
Me and her have been friends and like brother and sister for many years. So I would love to have done that. My good friend Bernie Mac, may he rest in peace. I didn't get a chance to work with him, but there are many comedians from Chicago that are doing television and film that I still haven't had an opportunity to work on that form. I've obviously done stand up, but not the television and film stuff. So it's a lot of comedians, too many to list, that I would love to work with.
But it's funny, it's crazy for me to think this, and I'm sure you know a lot of people think because y'all are comedians, you think that everybody knows one another and y'all to work together and all that stuff. But that's not the case.
No, that is not the case, and a lot of times, you may meet a cat here or there, but to work or find out who they are as a person or an artist, a lot of times we don't get an opportunity to do that. I've been blessed, and I've had a easier role when it comes to comedians because I hosted All Jokes Aside years ago, which was the third
Yeah.
black owned comedy club in the country in Chicago. And so all the comedians came by, all of the kings, all of the queens. So I ended up being able to befriend, people like, Steve Harvey and Cedric Entertainer. My good friend Ricky Smiley used to come and destroy that club. So Mike Epps and, all of those lists go on and on, from nationally, where I had an opportunity to meet and befriend a lot of those guys. And then I had all of those comedians, from my cousin Damon Williams to Cheryl Underwood and Bernie and Adele Gibbons and all of those wonderful comedians from Chicago. Obviously, I had an opportunity to not just work with them, but in a lot of cases be a part of their growth as comedians.
Yeah. Now it was a question I was about to ask you, but it kind of slipped my mind. What was it? But you know, something about all the comics and stuff y'all working together. Oh, so tell me this, George. Okay, so we know there was the king of comedy.
Yeah,
So do you think there could be another king of comedy? Because I mean, there's
of
more than
course,
one king. So
of
could you?
course.
I mean, so
I totally believe that. I totally believe that it could. I mean, maybe, comedy is subjective. So to a lot of people, I'm a king of comedy to those who believe that I am, and for those
yeah,
that Damon Williams is the king of comedy. For those who believe that he is, but there's a lot of room for
Another
comedians.
king.
I believe so. I don't know if you name it the same thing, or how you do that. But comedy is subjective, and fortunately for me, I have had a really good career, and I have a lot of people who understand the level of comedy that I do and how I
Mhm.
do it. But it's just a matter of getting your face out there, and sometimes
Exactly.
it takes 30 years, 30 plus years to become an overnight success. That's what they say. So, as much as I've done, as many places I've gone, I'm still very much, a new face in this business, because until the masses see who you are and your body of work and what you can do, then you're
Mhm.
still really a baby in this game, in my opinion.
Yeah. Now, everything is about the Mount Rushmore. We talk about the Mount Rushmore. So if there was a Rushmore of comedians, excluding yourself, who would be on your Mount Rushmore of comedians?
Man, that mountain would be so big as far as I'm concerned. It
Let's do
would be.
six.
I'm sorry.
Let's do six comedians.
Six comedians. I would definitely say, for me, the influences I had was Richard Pryor. He would definitely be on the Mount Rushmore. For me, Bernie Mac would be up there for me. Um, Sinbad would be up there for me. Uh, uh, Maybe Jerry Lewis would be up there for me.
Hmm.
Um, uh, Maybe someone like Ronaldo Race, he might, and Rodney Winfield. So it might not be household names that
Oh, they
people
household.
that yeah that but they have huge. Sinbad was my first OG in comedy, and even though he was a clean comedian and I was a comedian that was a little bit more risque, he pulled me under his wing, and encouraged me to be myself and hone my craft and find out who I was and my voice as a comedian. And he just was so brilliant at how he did comedy. It's just so many names and so many influences that I personally had, Gary, to be honest with you, that mountain would be big. And I think there's a lot of comedians who've had a huge impact and influence on just not other comedians, but entertainers in general. But specifically, there's just many many names that I would have on my Mount Rushmore.
Okay. All right. Switching gears a little bit. Okay, let's talk about family. So now, George, you're married, single, divorced, widowed. I
I
mean,
am I am I am all of that. I didn't I was married for 19 years. I have a 27-year-old son, George the third, from that previous marriage, and Tierra, who is my non-biological child, but my first child from my first marriage. I was in her life since she was 2. Then I got a divorce. I was married about 17 years. I got a divorce about 13 years ago, and I got recommitted to a young lady who's 20 years younger than me, but very evenly yoked in a lot of ways, spiritually and creatively. We have a lot in common as well. We had a son 10 years ago, Mason Noah the third. So yes, I've been married, I've been divorced, I'm engaged. I'm gonna have another wife again. I'll have a wife again eventually, and I believe I'm done with kids. But if God see fit for me to have another one, I'm down with that as well. So my family life is for me. I had the proverbial second chance. I had an opportunity
yeah.
to do it all over again, and hopefully I'm a better father, I'm a better mate, I'm a better friend than I was the first time.
Yeah. Now, okay. Now, I guess I'm. Maybe you could talk about this. Maybe you don't. I was reading somewhere that you experienced racism, honey, a while back ago in your life, honey. You and your wife.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Oh yeah, that happened some years ago when I was trying to purchase a home in Bridgeport in Chicago. And to be honest with you, I didn't even realize, because at the time we were looking for the home, you go down the list, and the things that you want or your family wants, and you try to find the house that has as many of those things as possible. So that's what I was doing, and I ended up in a part of Chicago that's not very welcoming and receptive to people outside of that culture in that neighborhood. But unbeknownst to me, I didn't know that, so I put a bid on the house up, and come to find out they did not want to sell me the house because of the color of my skin, which obviously that is not something that I would remotely be comfortable with, not back then and not now. So I fought that. We took them to court. I had one of the best attorneys that I believe in the world, and Willie Gary, who was also still my friend and attorney. And so we handled that situation where I think the best we could, and addressed that, and sued everybody involved, and made our points, and settled, and kept it moving. But
Really?
but now that case, actually, they teach that in real estate class. They have that case that happened with me and my family back then, as a way and as a deterrent and as a learning tool, for the things that you can and cannot do in regards to discrimination in real estate. But it still happens to this day, as you know, Gary.
Oh, sure. Because you got to, evidently, y'all was just smart enough to prove it, but you got to prove it because they can tell you anything. Oh, the buyer
Yeah.
pulled out and they didn't want to sell a house or anything like that. Because when the buyer found out your ass was black, honey, yeah, they pulled out. So, honey, you got to, I mean, that's
Well,
has to be proved.
Yeah, and their biggest mistake, and probably one of the smoking gun, if you will, was that um, the people we were buying the house from at the time, their realtor expressed to my realtor that if I had the money, which I did, that he wanted to sell the house, but he'd rather not sell to an African American, and that's just not how that works in this country.
Yeah. Oh, my Lord Jesus. But, honey, that's interesting, but it still happens, honey. So,
It
but
does.
we glad you came out clean and you decided to do what you do, get your money or what have you, and
Mhm.
moved on, honey. So, bless your spirit, George. So, okay, so George, now tell me, okay, so now you're touring with Vanessa Fraction. So you said now y'all doing the wineries, the city
We are.
wineries, what have
We
you,
are
and stuff
doing
like that.
we're doing a couple of city wineries, and this is like a small mini tour. I've got some other dates that I would love to do with her. And she's busy doing what she does, with Dish Nation, and she's doing all she travels. She's a married woman now, so she has her own
Mhm.
family. But Vanessa's just been incredibly talented, and I've had the opportunity of watching her as a comedian just thrive and grow over the years. So we are going to be doing a couple of shows together. Like I said, the first one will be on June 18th here at the City Winery on Ponce, and then the next one is in July 18th in St. Louis at the City Winery in St. Louis. And we got a couple of other dates that that I have that are pending, and perhaps that will be settled down, and that I can mention a little bit later. But I've been staying on the road for all these years, man. I believe that laughter is medicine in a lot of ways, and people call me the stress reliever. And I'll be honest with you, Gary, in my career, I can feel the people that need a laugh and want to laugh, but I don't think I ever can remember a time where people needed to laugh more than they do now. And
Oh yeah.
you can feel that energy in the comedy rooms, and in the laughter. People really are laughing harder because they're trying to get rid of a lot of stress that is overwhelming. So I'm glad to be a part of being able to help people do that in a very organic way.
Beautiful. Okay, with that being said, what's next for George Wilborn?
Well, I continue to do radio where it makes sense and where people would have me. I enjoy doing radio, and I've been doing it on a very large and a very high level for a lot of years. With whether it was with Michael Baisden for many years, worked with Doug Banks over the years, Dee Dee McGuire, and I still have a love for radio. But I also have some television and film projects that I have been working on for many years, or over 13 years, that are finally now I believe in the hands of some people that can get it greenlit and get it attached. I've got a gang of people who are in this business who are friends of mine and who are also doing projects that I believe I'm going to be attached to in the very near future. So I just been staying young, staying hungry, stay honing my craft. I love stand up. I love the feeling that I get personally, and the mental release that I get from making
Mhm.
other people's laugh and making other people laugh and forget about their troubles for a few minutes. And so I'm going to continue to do that. Continue to tour and continue to get my face out here a little bit more. Social media has changed the game. And
Oh yeah.
old school comedians like me, some of them, man, they refuse to do Zooms, or they refuse to, really engage in social media. I'm not like that, even though I'm not going to be here on there every day, 18 hours a day on the internet, letting you know what's in and out of my refrigerator. I'm not going to do that, but
Yeah.
I am getting
Me
more
neither.
engaged. But I will get more engaged and have people follow me at the stress reliever and let them see what I'm doing, and give them a peek inside of what I'm doing personally, and obviously give them a full view of what I'm doing professionally.
Yeah. And with that being said, George, tell them again, how can they follow George Wilborn?
They can follow me at the stress reliever or the stress reliever. Believe it or not, it's the same word. But follow
Thank
me.
you.
I just
George,
went a little more reserved. You say
when I was
the.
in broadcasting school, my instructor gave me it's not the, it's the. I'm like, well, honey, I can't put my damn tongue between my teeth. It's the. So
That ain't what I heard, Gary. That ain't what I heard. But yes,
don't
you
believe
follow.
what you hear.
Yeah, I want people to follow me, and it's not about clout, it's not about, some of the reason that people want followers. Now they've tied our business to it. When we go to Hollywood and we at
Mhm.
these meetings in Hollywood, they don't care that I've been doing comedy for 30 something years. They don't care that
Mhm.
I've been traveling all over. They're like, what about the numbers, George? How do we know that they love you in Atlanta? How do we know
That's
that they
right.
know you in St. Louis? So that's why I ask people to follow me at the stress reliever. So that I'm in these meetings with these people when they tell me that,
They white.
that y'all don't know me, I can pull it up at the drop of a button. So that's why I ask people to follow me at the stress reliever, and on YouTube. My YouTube channel is George Wilborn with 2 L's.
But George, I thank you so much for talking about. You know what? I'm gonna pitch to somebody that you and I do a show, The Odd Couple. We're gonna revive The Odd Couple.
Oh, I would
That,
love that. I would love that. Come on
that
now.
would be that would be a good show. So, honey,
No
but
doubt
anyway,
about it. No doubt about
yeah.
it. We can have everybody from each community.
That's right, so exactly. And we can get the rainbow community, honey, and the fifth community, the power to the people, however we want to call it. George, thank you so much for stopping by,
Thank
George,
you.
honey. Good luck to you in your endeavors, honey. And I will be seeing you soon because you're gonna be coming on our show, on the Ricky Smiley Morning Show soon.
I
So
can't
we're gonna
wait.
definitely be seeing you on there. And hopefully that you come on Dish Nation. I tell y'all, you gotta come on Dish Nation too.
I would
So,
love to. I would love to come
yeah.
on this nation. Ricky Smiley is a man, my brother. I haven't seen him in so many years. I would love to join you and have some fun on that
Yeah,
show with him.
yeah.
So tell Ricky and reach out to him for me and tell him I want to come on. I'm gonna bombard him. And we
Yeah,
have a great time. I would have a great time on
exactly.
this nation too. Cause believe me.
Oh yeah, I was just say I'm gonna talk to our producer. So George
Please do.
Wilburn, ladies and gentlemen. George, thanks again for stopping by. Merry
Thank you.
Christmas.
Thank you, Gary. I see you on the belt line. We were walking
Okay.
together.
Saturday morning.
All right. I see you there, brother. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you, George.